So in the craziness of March, and yeah, I thought I'd give you a quick tour. Just kind of in the transition at the moment from all the winter crops over to the spring crops, and then obviously we'll be on to the summer crops later. But yeah, it's looking pretty nice. It's so great to be here on a sunny day. I'll take you around. So what an incredible day. So this was a leek bed. It's going to be the Brussels sprouts. I've just started putting some salad onions in around the edge there. Colettes, nearly as big as me. Loads and loads of colettes. And now we're just starting with these leaves, and these will grow obviously much bigger. Absolutely fantastic flush of leaves for this time of year, but also just loads and loads of colettes. We got a flush with colettes this year. They've been a little bit late coming, some of them, but I mean that's the way with colettes. Normally in a packet of colettes you get a mix of different varieties. Some of them come, you know, in December, and some of them come in March. It gives you a really lovely continuous harvest of fantastic, super healthy, super tasty greens. So talking of brassicas, so this was the Brussels sprout bread. I've just finished harvesting that and just popped in the shallots, and this is what I like to see with the shallots. You know, not big floppy leaves or anything like that. Beautiful leaves, smallish, and just bursting into life really as we go into March. So yeah, really happy. I absolutely love the look of shallots. We've got some in the kitchen garden at home, and yeah, they're so incredibly decorative. Last few leeks for the allotment. I've got loads of leeks back at home in the kitchen garden. I'll soon get this cleared and get this replanted, but yeah, that's for another day. Gooseberries just coming into life down here, and I'm a big fan of gooseberries. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I love them. So then I've got the field beans around here, soon to be taken out actually. I'll put my early potatoes in there, but I'll just leave a few field beans here, and I've got little broad beans here. These are the ones that are absolutely decimated by slugs and snails, and yeah, I'm just hoping they'll kind of grow through it. I think they will. Broad beans are super resilient. And then down here we've got old spinach beds mainly, and they've all been replanted with calabrese, so let's take a look at those. In the main, these are looking pretty good. There's still a week's harvest or two of spinach to take out of here, but the calabrese are looking nice, all apart from these two, which I really don't know what's happened to those. I've got some spares, so I'm going to get them planted today. And then down here we've got a bit further on, so I've got some cauliflowers down there. These are little cauliflowers. Hopefully these will be ready sometime in May, and now we've got calabrese coming here. It's looking really nice. 2 or 3 weeks away from harvest probably. Some new stuff. So actually, well, we've got some ever-bearing strawberries down there. Actually, the ever-bearing strawberries in the greenhouse at home, they're in full flower at the moment. In fact, I've got quite a few strawberries coming on those. In here we've got next succession of cauliflowers with little radishes interplanted in there, and then the next succession of calabrese. I probably won't interplant radishes into this bed just because these grow so fast at this time of year. They'll soon overpower their radishes. And then I've got some Savoy cabbages looking quite nice there. This was the one that was really badly eaten, really badly, but it's kind of growing through it. I think I've got the slug and snail problem kind of under control in this bed now, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I've got some spring cabbages here. I'm going to pop another one in the middle there because I'm harvesting this lettuce today. Talking of things that I'm harvesting today, I'm just taking this old lettuce bed out now. So you can see it's really scrappy, lots of mouldy, horrible plants and things. So very happy to get this cleared and get the whole bed replanted with spinach. And spinach actually is looking gorgeous, so yeah, this bed will improve dramatically in a few hours time. Then down here, hiding underneath this coal frame, which is currently being absolutely covered with catkins, I've just brushed them all off. I've got loads and loads of Asian greens. So this is my new succession of Asian greens. It's looking pretty good. A little bit of slug and snail problems in here, but in the main I'm really happy with it. And I've got my next succession be planting out next week in the polytunnel. Next to those Asian greens I've got lettuce, and this isn't looking too bad. I've interplanted it all with salad onions because I'm a bit short of salad onions. I've got a few beds back at home, but yeah, anyway, I haven't got very many on the allotment, so I've rectified that by interplanting them everywhere I can find a little gap. But these lettuces, they suffered a bit. This is a very shady bed all through winter, and so some of them, like these here, the Lollirosa, they kind of suffered quite a lot with mildew, but I think they're growing through it okay. I think they'll be all right, whereas some of these others are looking really beautiful. So this one's my carrot bed, and you can see I've still got loads of carrots in here, which we'll be harvesting all the way through until the middle of April really. And I just planted in the gaps in between the carrots, I put spinach. So I've obviously cut the tops off these carrots. In fact, I've cut the tops off twice, and that just leaves plenty of space for that spinach to grow on. And then down here I did the same thing in this bed. You can see just the last few carrots there to be picked, but the vast majority of this bed now has been replanted with lettuce and what have I got down there? Oh, radish interplanted down there. So again, all this got to be harvested pretty soon, so we're pretty flush with lettuce now. We were a bit short actually, ironically, of lettuce last week, but yeah, this week we're into full abundance again. So the trees will be in bloom pretty soon. These are apple trees and cherry trees, and yeah, down here I've got my elephant garlic. So often, depends how we do with leeks, but sometimes we harvest some of this elephant garlic, the thin ends basically, as leeks, because elephant garlic's in the leek family. It's more like a leek than a garlic really, and the tops are very, very leek-like, you know, and really gorgeous in sort of May time. So if we've got through all of our leeks by then, that's what we'll be doing here. And obviously it's a beautiful bed. There's loads and loads of elephant garlic in here. Blueberries there, about to come into bud. And then this is the spinach bed that we're currently taking our salad spinach leaves from. And try and pick it as hard as I can, because at this time of year, pretty much everything you pick this week will have regrown by next week. So you really struggle to keep up with it. And this is one of the cooking spinach beds, and it's the same thing here. Basically I'll take like the whole of these spinach beds, and you know, well, take the whole of this one, and then next week I'll take the whole of this one, and then the week after that this one will have regrown. And I'll only be doing that for a few weeks actually, because this is going to be a carrot bed. Not everything goes right though. So in this bed, so happy with this bed last week, and now it's going to seed. So these are my early Brussels sprouts. So these are what I'd hope to have a summer harvest of Brussels sprouts. So start picking leaves in May, then pick sprout tops in July, and then pick the actual sprouts towards the end of July. But unfortunately, you know, sometimes it happens that weather conditions are just such that these plants think they're in the second year and have gone to seed. But there's a beautiful leaf harvest, and Brussels sprout leaves, if you've not eaten them regularly, are absolutely wonderful. You know, I much prefer them to cabbage, so I'm going to be picking loads of these. And then down there we've got cauliflowers and red cabbages. So these are my furthest on red cabbages. Hopefully they won't go to seed. You know, you always take a risk when you bring crops on nice and early. If those red cabbages did happen to go to seed, I've got all these lovely red cabbages down here, which are a bit smaller. These won't go to seed, I'm pretty confident. And then in between here I've got little spring cabbages, which I won't let heart up. I'll just take them as spring greens in a few weeks time, and then give the red cabbages space to grow on. So this is the purple sprouting broccoli bed that we've been harvesting, well, all the way through March and sort of late February as well, and it's absolutely gushing at the moment with flowers, florets rather. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, we're really happy with this. And I like to grow my PSB in succession, so I get an early crop, a mid crop, which is what this is, and then this is my late crop, and it's just now showing the first signs, well, not first signs, real signs of starting to flower. So just as that previous one is finishing, this one is starting to come through, and you know, some of it's not quite so far on, some of it's well on. So yeah, I think I'm going to have a nice continuous harvest here. These are my second early strawberries. As I said, my super earlies are almost fruiting now. And then, oh yeah, this is my earliest or latest, depending on the way you look at it, kale bed. So all my other kale's well on now, going to seed, but this is obviously still in full leaf. It will still go to seed on me. I don't really mind, because I've got to get this bed replanted later on in spring anyway. But I'm hoping for sort of 3 or 4 weeks of good harvest from here. And this has also got my furthest on salad rocket, so it's not quite ready for picking yet. I mean, you could pick it, but I like it when the leaves are just a little bit crisper, and that'll happen in the next 2 weeks or so. So yeah, what a kale bed that is. And I've got my best lettuce bed here. I'm not going to start picking this for a week or two, but yeah, it's looking lovely, and very happy with that. And obviously I've got loads of salad onions interplanted in here as well, and I've got my peas growing quite nicely down here. I take this cover off them in about mid-April, and by then, you know, they're really high up, and they need to be tied in then to these support posts. But actually, I've always been kind of in favour of growing peas like this, just at the back of my low tunnels where they don't take up very much space. But this year I tried some in the greenhouse, and I've got some that I started back in December, which are just starting to flower now, and some that I started in January. And you know, they're quite a lot further on than these. So that's been a nice experiment actually. So really from yeah, I think I'm going to get a nice succession of peas from those. This is a bit of a disaster, this bed. So this is my asparagus bed, and actually I think I saw, yeah, the first asparagus tip just starting to break through there. But I always plant my asparagus bed in autumn with overwintering sort of Japanese style onions, and well, I did that this year as well, and they've just been absolutely devastated. I think they struggled because of that really cold snap that we had in December, and it just knocked them back while they were small plants, and they never really pulled through. So I think I'll probably still get some sort of harvest from here, but it won't be as good as I'm used to. And then I've got my early cauliflower bed here, and I've got some cauliflowers starting to come through. A bit mouldy really, it's been so incredibly damp, horrible really. But hopefully we're drying off a little bit now, so hopefully the rest of the plants will be okay. So I'm hoping to get these sort of towards the end of April, although this one will be in March, but the rest of them hopefully towards the end of April, and then the next succession will come in early May, and then mid-May, late May, early June. At that point then I don't really have space for cauliflowers or purple sprouting broccoli or calabrese or anything like that on my plot. We moved some of it to Debbie's plot, my wife's, because my plot is then sort of mostly melons and peppers and tomatoes and things like that, so it switches over really to abundant summer harvests. Let's just have a quick look in the greenhouse. So, sorry, the greenhouse, in the polytunnel, and this is, it's looking a bit scrappy at the moment because it's all just been replanted, and yeah, and then it's been replanted and then just enjoyed basically continuous dull rainy days for, oh, goodness knows, months and months. So anyway, it did have all my winter salad crops in here, Asian greens and lettuces and all of that. But now it's got beetroot, which is looking okay. It's not fantastic, to be honest. Lettuces, these are the last of those winter lettuces just to be harvested today, and then I've got Asian greens to go in here, and then I've got Asian greens down here, more lettuces, obviously more beetroots all the way around the outside there, loads more lettuces, loads of salad onions, And down here I've got cauliflowers at the ends, calabrese all the way down here, and radishes. I'll be harvesting those radishes today actually because they're looking pretty good. And then the early broad beans are in good flower now, looking nice. They're self-fertile broad beans, so you don't need to really worry about getting them pollinated. Up here we've got loads and loads of first early strawberries. I left these pots actually down the side of the polytunnel. I completely forgot about them. And these are actually a perennial kale, but my perennial kale seems to flower most years, so for some reason, I don't really know why, but anyway, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to be harvesting all this today, and all these I just brought them inside just so I didn't forget about them again. As I said, I just forgot that they existed. And then down there I've got another cauliflower. And then last but definitely not least, these are the carrots that will start picking in May. So basically when those other carrots that you saw finish at the end of April. And I've got 4 of these. And these should last us, you know, well into June. And then hopefully by then my next batch of carrots will be ready. But I did have a bit of a disaster. These are meant to be my next batch of carrots, and not a one germinated. They're a month old now, so I am on a bit of a race now to get enough carrots. And then these are the little kales, the early kales that will be eaten through into summer, and then obviously the main crop kales will be ready. So hope you like this video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and there's loads of information down in the description below if you want to know more. See you soon.